In the world of wrestling, everything is calculated and success is linked to your skills and your acceptance of the conditions of this world. A world filled with scandals, exploitation, and the dominance of money over talent. Every champion must do everything he can to reach the top of the mountain. But there was a person who entered this world at a time when no one believed in him. A person with ideas different from those of the big companies, and his biggest enemy was power and exploitation. And at a time when this world was filled with lies, the public found this person to be the only truth. And not only did he fight the authorities, but he was able to change the system they were forcing him into. But the fire he lit was able to burn him, and he disappeared from this world for years. He was able to return after more than 10 years. Hello, I'm Adam and I make weekly videos on YouTube, and today I'm going to tell you about CM Punk, and we're going to delve into the details of his career and reveal secrets that no one has ever told before. At the end of the video, I'll tell you about the things that CM Punk changed in the world of wrestling. So, without any long introductions, let's get started. CM Punk is a wrestler known for his promo style and the way he mimicked the crowd's voices. He has many enemies and many people have described him as a difficult person to work with, a person who loves attention but does wrong things, but behind all of this lies a story full of trauma. CM Punk, whose real name is Phil Brooks, was born in Chicago, Illinois, to a less than ordinary family. His father suffered from alcoholism, and his mother was an ordinary housewife. This made him say that he didn't have a home and it was just a place to sleep. His only support when he was young was his older brother, who was also the one who took all the attention in the family. His father's problems with alcohol forced him to live his life without alcohol, smoking, or any other type of drug. He loved his mother very much, but she saw him as a source of income, nothing more than that, and this made him leave his home forever and never return. At that time, he decided to enter the world of wrestling through a less than local federation with his friends. He was able to become the source of money for this federation, but his brother, who was the financial manager of the federation, decided to steal all the money and leave the country. This was the first and biggest betrayal in Punk's life. His trust in the world vanished after this. He decided to continue in the wrestling world and met a wrestler named Colt Cabana, and he decided to help him and stand by him in everything he could, even with money, despite CM Punk's weak financial capabilities. And after that, CM Punk became a champion in local federations until he signed with TNA. However, due to a backstage dispute, CM Punk was fired from the federation and he was then asked to join Ring of Honor, which was known for contracting talented local wrestlers, and he began to have huge matches against Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe, and he had real feuds within the federation, perhaps the most famous of which was his feud with Kevin Owens. This put him in the spotlight of WWE, and they offered him a contract and CM Punk signed the contract. When Punk arrived in WWE, he was preparing for his own greatness, but the WWE didn't see Punk's talent and he was sent to the Developmental Federation, and nothing he did in the past was recognized. However, Punk responded by training intensively and continuing to learn and develop to achieve his dream. But Vince McMahon decided to fire CM Punk, and the only person who demanded that CM Punk stay was Paul Heyman, and he told Vince that CM Punk was a great asset to the federation and refused to implement the firing order. Not only that, but he also decided to give him a segment on live shows to talk in front of everyone, and matches to showcase his powerful talent that represents traditional wrestling. After that, CM Punk won his first championship and became one of the most famous wrestlers on the roster. But amid all this success, something unexpected happened, and it was Chris Benoit's death. This forced Vince McMahon to change the content to a safe, family-friendly format, content that might not suit the edgy CM Punk and his strong promos. True wrestling fans were all fans of CM Punk because he was unlike the rest, who were concerned with children, and CM Punk continued to achieve success and titles with the help of Paul Heyman, and he entered into major feuds with Jeff Hardy and The Undertaker, and his feud with The Undertaker was real because Taker's goal was to teach CM Punk how to be a real champion, and CM Punk continued to present the strongest edge characters. But in 2011, CM Punk delivered the greatest thing of his career, because CM Punk led a revolution against authority and control over talent and wrestlers. This was evident when he announced that his contract with the WWE would expire, and went even further when he spoke about Vince McMahon's management style. And not only that, but he also spoke about The Rock, John Cena, Paul Heyman, and Brock Lesnar. And a week later, CM Punk was suspended from the WWE, but Vince McMahon decided to bring him back to try to appease him, and CM Punk did indeed return and played a match against John Cena, and he won it. And after that, he left the arena through the audience doors, and for the first time in years, wrestling felt almost realistic again. 2 weeks later, CM Punk returned to the company and played a match against Cena, which he won. However, he lost the title due to a conspiracy by Vince McMahon. However, at the 2011 CM Punk returned and won the WWE Championship, beginning Punk's 443-day reign with the title. During this time, he allied with Paul Heyman and staged one of the greatest feuds. Unfortunately, CM Punk was in the shadow of Cena, The Rock, and Brock Lesnar, and CM Punk's only dream was to headline a WrestleMania match. But the management at the time didn't see CM Punk as someone deserving of this opportunity. However, in 2013, he gave a fantastic match against The Undertaker, and this match was the best of the show, and then entered into a feud with Brock Lesnar, which was a major feud, but CM Punk was in his last days, and at the 2014 Royal Rumble, CM Punk was the first person to enter the match and he continued in it for more than an hour ago. They were eliminated from the match, and this was CM Punk's last match in the WWE, as he was fired on his wedding day, and it is true that Punk left, but his influence continued as we saw underdogs winning championships. And after wrestling, Punk tried to enter the UFC world but he failed miserably. However, in 2021, Punk returned to the wrestling world through the AEW, and it was indeed a great comeback, and Punk led great feuds against MJF, Darby Allin, and Jon Moxley. However, the same things that happened before his return happened again. This was because CM Punk had personal problems with the AEW's management, which led to his expulsion from AEW. And everyone said that this was the end of CM Punk in the wrestling world. But in 2023, CM Punk returned to WWE. After many lawsuits between CM Punk and the WWE, and after he repeatedly confirmed his hatred of Vince McMahon and Triple H, CM Punk returned to the place that had been the reason for his estrangement from the wrestling world. But this time, the return was bigger and grander, and CM Punk's goal was to main event the WrestleMania. However, in the middle of the 2024 Royal Rumble match, CM Punk suffered a major injury that led to his exclusion from WrestleMania, and he returned and entered a major feud with Drew McIntyre, and it was one of the greatest feuds of 2024. The year ended with CM Punk allying with Roman Reigns, mediated by Paul Heyman. During this period, he also had a feud with Seth Rollins, and this feud was personal due to CM Punk's refusal to train Seth in 2002. And at the beginning of 2025, CM Punk defeated Seth and then entered into a feud with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. But this time the feud went to WrestleMania. Not only that, but it was the main event of the show, which was considered one of the most important matches of the show. And for the question what CM Punk changed in the wrestling world was the revolution that made talent triumph over money and management decisions. This revolution gave many wrestlers the opportunity to be in the main event of major shows. All of this was thanks to one person, and his name is CM Punk.